Hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual discussion series that's hosted by the Chaldean Cultural Center in collaboration with U of M Detroit Center, Unique Voices in Films, and CMN TV. Today, I have a very special guest, Jane Shallal. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Miriam.
She's the president and CEO of United Community Family Services, which is located in Troy, Michigan. And today she is going to tell us about this organization that has existed for 60 years. This year is their 60th anniversary. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Amazing accomplishment. And this is, what we really want to learn what this organization is about and the success story as well. So what is the story behind the United Community Family Services?
Yeah. Well, actually, first of all, thank you and to all your partners for inviting us here. We appreciate your, interest in our organization and letting all your viewers know more about us. So this is a very apropos time to hold this interview because tomorrow is, we were formed 60 years ago, May 15th. We were formed 60 years ago, and we are celebrating our 60th anniversary. It started off with 20 women with the guidance of then Father George Garmu, he's Bishop George Garmu, with his guidance established in this organization to help the poor, the sick, and the elderly, and help newcomers get acclimated to their life here in the United States. So it started off with 20 women meeting in their basement, has grown to a large nonprofit organization that serves over 10,000 people. And we have our own building, we have paid staff and numerous supporters that help. And the great thing about the United Community Family Services, which has always been known as Chaldean American Ladies of Charity, that's our legal name. UCFS is our doing business as DBA name. What's wonderful about this organization is that the mission has stayed the same, so we are continuing to help the sick and the elderly and the poor, and we're continuing to help the newcomers that have come here, to get acclimated in the United States so that they're as successful as we are.
So given that you started in 1961 and obviously the immigration and the refugee situation changed over the years, the population, when I see the numbers that were, I don't remember what it was in 1961, but I mean, we were a lot smaller, especially with the Chaldean population. So what have you seen the major difference that has happened between the years and the changes that have occurred?
Yeah, there's been, actually, it's quite a different population that's coming to the United States, or their journey is, I should say, different. I'm an immigrant. I was born in Baghdad, Iraq myself. So my family's journey and many immigrants' journey, probably as yourself and many other people that have been here, Chaldeans that have been here for so many years, they came as immigrants. They did not come as refugees. So they prepared themselves from coming. They sold their assets, they sold their homes, and they came directly to the United States. The refugee journey, which the population now coming are refugees. So the refugee journey is very different than the immigrant journey, such as myself. They have been forced to leave everything behind, their assets, their homes, their bank accounts, even sometimes their clothing. Everything has been left behind, and they don't come to the United States immediately. They're sometimes displaced into third countries like Jordan and Syria, and years go by before they're ultimately admitted into the United States. And they travel from, place to place without really a home, and when they finally get here, they come with no assets, no connections, no networks. And that's why we're there to help them out at, Chaldean American Ladies of Charity, United Community Family Services. We're here to help them out when they get here, to get resettled, to get them their furniture, to get them so they know where their churches are, know where they can get help, and help in terms of English classes, employment. So their journey is much more different than what our journey was as immigrants.
And so how does your organization transition or try to adjust and serve the different between the immigrants and their needs to the refugees and their needs? How does that process happen? Do you have the chance to prepare ahead of time, or are you guys kind of dealing with it as it's happening?
I think we've become like really expert, we've really built an expertise in refugee resettlement, because for about the last 15 years or more, we have been working with refugees. So we understand what their needs are when they get here. And we try to address the needs as we see them from the eyes of our clients. So, you know, we have an employment program that helps them get employed. We have financial literacy programs that helps them understand how they can budget when they get here, how they can improve their credit scores. Many of these refugees, they come with no credit, you know, so it's hard for them to get a lease to rent an apartment. It's hard for them to buy a car or even lease a car, or because they have absolutely no credit. So we try to help them understand how they can build their credit. We have English classes. English is the #1 factor for success for a refugee. So, you know, we encourage all our refugees to participate in English classes as well. So we have a large basic needs center in the back of our building. We have an 11,000 square foot building in Troy, Michigan. And the back 6,000 square feet is a huge basic needs center that's full with donated goods by members of the community, furniture, housewares, small appliances, clothing, and whatever these refugees need, because really they do come with nothing. You know, it's there for them, and it's at no cost to them, and then, so that they can, you know, get their homes, their new homes settled, get their basic needs met, and, you know, try to get employed.
And, you know, I know that you've dedicated over 28 years to assisting immigrants, refugees, homeless, and low-income families in Michigan through your service with UCFS. But you have a very interesting background even before that. So you have a Juris Doctor from Michigan State University College of Law, a Master's of Arts degree in Criminal Justice from the University of Detroit, and a Bachelor's of Science degree from Wayne State University. So I got to tell you, this organization is very lucky to have you.
Thank
I mean, aside, so your resume is a lot longer than that, but just your educational background, but you also have so much work and experience background. So how did you get involved with this work?
Well, I've been involved, you know, from, I got involved with my mom. My mom used to do a lot of work for the Chaldean American Ladies of Charity and for the sick and the elderly. And I just saw these beautiful acts of kindness that she would do for others. And that really drew me and inspired me to kind of try to follow that path and do the same work that she did, and actually kind of extend her work, you know, and grow it. And that's why I kind of dedicated myself to the Chaldean American Ladies of Charity, because all the works that she did and all the work that I've seen others do in the, you know, that some of the leaders that they've done to help others in the community. So and once it is, it's like, it's been my thing for almost 30 years now, like you say, 28 years, and I love it. It is one of my passions, and I enjoy it.
Well, and you know, we talked about the refugees and the immigrants. Things are a little bit different nowadays, and it's been for a little while now, including because of the COVID. How has COVID-19, the pandemic, has it disrupted any of the work for your nonprofit, and how has it affected you? And in general, have you noticed that a lot of nonprofits been affected? I know you've also helped the Chaldean Cultural Center in some ways, and we were affected as well, like others. But how was your organization affected?
You know, we were very fortunate from a financial standpoint, because our donors and our funders, you know, stepped up and helped us out tremendously, because we had to cancel a number of large fundraising events that helped fund our programs. But I think because our funders and donors have such great trust and respect for us, and they've worked with us for so long, and they know about our good work, they really helped us out financially, so that we didn't have to worry about cutting programs or cutting services or closing down. And we've never really kind of closed down, even during the stay-home orders. We have a large food pantry in the back, and with Forgotten Harvest and the Gleaners Food Bank, we were delivering food twice a month. But when the pandemic hit, we saw an increased demand for food because numerous families and clients became unemployed. They didn't have sufficient food. And then there was an increase of families that were coming to us that had never come to us before because of their unemployment status now, that they needed food. So we began to distribute food weekly instead of, bi-weekly at our organization. We were considered non-essential workers. So despite the stay-home orders, we were permitted to run our food pantry operations. And, some of the case management continued. It was either by phone or via Zoom or Facebook or WhatsApp. We had to be a little bit creative about connecting to our clients because our clients needed us more during the pandemic when it hit because of everything that had happened as a result. So, the food pantry was affected, and, our ESL and citizenship classes were postponed for a while because we had to kind of like recreate ourselves and say, how do we deliver this service to our clients so that they can continue getting the service? So we said, let's try to do this virtually. And that was a challenge too for our clients. They don't have computers, some of them. They did not, their digital experience was limited. Zoom, they had no idea what Zoom was. So it was a matter of teaching them how to get on Zoom, how to stay on Zoom, and how to mute themselves sometimes. And so, we were able to get through all that. And now we have, even our senior citizens who know very little about computers, we have bingo for them via virtual Zoom classes. We have yoga for them, Zoom classes. So not only have we kind of taught them, or have we learned how to do it virtually, we've taught them how to engage with us virtually as well. So yeah, some of those programs had to be changed a little bit. I think that our youth programs suffered the most because most of our youth programs were, group settings. They were our Saturday Dreams mentoring program, our Project Achievement after school tutoring programs. They were always done in a group setting. So those were a little bit more difficult, but we're hoping to get those geared up now that the weather is nice, the restrictions are starting to get lifted.
And Jean, if I want to take this opportunity, like if somebody wants to connect and learn about, the food pantry, or if they need furniture or anything like that, what is the best way to contact you?
You can contact us at, you can go on our website and there is a contact form there. So you can go on www.ucfamilyservices.org.
Yes, and we'll include that link
Thank you.
when we have this recorded, and we'll include the link so people can connect. And so, one of the programs that I did recently attend, actually I attended 2 workshops through the Women's Business Institute. This is a program that you guys have. What is this program about? How long has it been around? And has the major change been really just shifting from in-person to online? The ones I attended were online.
Yeah, we launched this during the pandemic. It wasn't our intention that a pandemic was going to occur when we launched this program, because a great part of it was to be networking with other business women so that they can, advance their own careers through networking and get to know other people in their field. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And so we had to launch the Women's Business Institute virtually, which is also through Zoom classes. And we provide a variety of different class instruction and workshops. And WBI, Women's Business Institute, was founded by, the women who were in business owner. They were business owners, women business leaders that wanted to share their firsthand resources there and provide support to women who were either starting off their own business, getting into the employment field, or wanted to get excel in their field. So it's not just for people that want to open up a business, it's for any woman that wishes to advance their careers. And that's the main that is the main goal of the Women's Business Institute. We want to offer tools so women achieve prosperous careers and become leaders in the growth, in our economic growth in not only our community, but in our state.
Yeah, and I honestly found them very resourceful. I did connect with a few women during the networking, the workshop, and then you had a very good workshop on grant writing.
Thank you.
And it didn't address only nonprofits, but it was also for individuals as well if they were looking for grants, this is, there's a lot of opportunity in that as well. So since you have been with UCFS for nearly 3 decades, what do you consider were the biggest challenges that you guys face, and how did your organization overcome them?
I think one of the biggest challenges, and it's still a challenge for us, Liam, is that, sometimes the people don't know what we do. So I think putting out the good word of UCFS has always been, an issue for us. And I think part of the problem is that we're so busy doing the good work, we're not thinking about telling people about the good work. So I've met so many people and they say, oh, I never heard of your organization, or, so I think we need to get more exposure, better exposure about all the good work that UCFS does. And that's probably been our major hurdle, just, kind of like branding ourselves and letting the community and others know about what we do.
Yes, although you have lasted very successfully for 60 years, we need to learn just to work harder from our end. I think, it's very impressive. And so what have been your biggest achievements?
Oh gosh, I feel like there's so many wonderful achievements of, the United Community Family Services. When I first got on, one of the biggest achievements that they had, and I was fortunate to be a part of at the end of the effort, was that the Chaldean American Ladies of Charity for many years held fundraisers and did a lot of fundraising to establish the Chaldean Manor Senior Living Complex in Southfield. It was always their dream to have a senior residential facility for elder Chaldeans, so that they can, number one, communicate with each other, have a lot in common with each other. And they were able to do that eventually, because they were not able to get HUD housing funding. The project was turned over to the Chaldean Diocese to finish the project, but the idea of the project was formed from UCFS, Chaldean American Ladies of Charity, and we were proud to dig the shovel in, the first shovel in to establish it. And now I think the Chaldean Manor and that whole idea of senior residential facility for Chaldean elders has provided the impetus for a second one, which is available now to elder seniors in Sterling Heights through that church. So, that's one of the biggest things, I think. And the other thing is, of course, our food pantry. That has, we have had that for at least 10 years, and it's grown tremendously, and it continues to serve more and more families each year. And just to be able to address hunger challenges in the community is I think, a very, commendable thing for the organization. And we have a large food pantry, and 230 families, we had one today, and 230 families come through and get food for their families. And we normally probably distribute anywhere from 160,000 to 180,000 meals each year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, this is why it is important for us to know about this. First of all, it's very inspiring. And regarding the Chaldean Manor, I had no idea you guys had this involvement in it. I had no clue. Right now, the Chaldean Cultural Center, it actually made it easier for us. We're working on a project called the Digital Storytelling Project, where we interview elderly and who speak in the Aramaic language, and to share about their stories. And we contacted the one that is near Holy Martyrs, because everybody's there. It's so much easier access to them. And we're actually right now communicating with Chaldean Manor to do something similar, and found a lot of interest there. But I think it is a very nice way where from the people that we've interviewed so far, they are very happy to be near a church and to be together and feel like their safety, they have the same language. So I had no idea that you guys were involved in that. And I do think it's a very great work.
Thank you. No, another thing that was, this is a very big, accomplishment for our organization is our Mabasima cookbook as well. So, and I'm sure you've heard of it. We've currently sold over 12,000 copies.
Right. How many?
12,000.
12,000 copies. Yes. And what was impressive is, so you like different projects along the way. And you were saying that there was 120 chefs involved in that cookbook. Yeah, that is incredible. That's another thing that we'll include a link to, because as you said, that the proceeds, they help your programs and
Yes.
and things like that. Yeah, that's wonderful. So, what advice do you give, especially given you guys' success? And really, the reason I highlight that is because it's important. Right now, again, a lot of nonprofits face a lot of challenges. And I think your leadership role is incredible, really. It's been,
Thank
like
you.
you said, you've helped the Chaldean Cultural Center in the past, and we're very appreciative of that. So what advice do you give people with leadership roles in the nonprofit sector, particularly today when many are facing numerous challenges?
Well, I think, the way we've maintained our existence for so many years is we always stay the course despite the challenges. What's our mission? And let's continue with that mission. You see a lot of nonprofits divert from their mission and start getting involved in different things that never was their mission. And I think that causes a lot of problems for nonprofits. And we've kind of stayed true to our mission from the very first founders, that started in 1961. The other thing is I think one thing we're successful at doing is we engage our followers, we engage our donors. You have to engage them in the work that you do so that when they know what you do, they want to be invested into this project themselves, whether it's volunteering for you, donating money, coming to your fundraising events, or just simply putting out the good word about your organization. So, I think, as a leader, you have to always have a strategy to invite folks in and tell them what you do. When people come to our organization and our offices and we show them what we do, they're really quite amazed at all the programs we have and all the people we served and all the services we provide. So engaging those donors, your community, about what you do and all the services you provide is really has been a key to our success. And I think that that's really a testament to who we are as an organization, that we have a beautiful community that trusts us, respects us, and is confident in what we do for the poor or for those people that need our help. So, I think that doing that is probably 90% of becoming successful as an organization and staying in existence for so many years.
Have you noticed that some of the people who do steer away or change their mission statement and such, is it oftentimes because they feel it might help the organization, and does it end up kind of weakening it in the process?
I think that you have to, sometimes it's good to change, and it's part of growing as an organization for sure, but you have to be careful about spreading your wings too broad, especially when you don't have the resources for it. So you have to kind of look at your resources and say, can we take on this project? Is this a project that really connects with our mission? And is it a need? Is it a need in the community? Sometimes I think nonprofits, without really talking to anybody or their constituents or their clients, put out a project where it's not really a needed project in their community, or the clients don't really need that service. So it's very important to, kind of like feel your clients, gauge your clients and what their needs are, what they really want your help with, and then go from there. I mean, yes, you can change your programs and services, but and that's, like I said, it's all part of growing, but you have to be careful when you do it.
Right, and to stay at the core of what you started with.
Exactly.
So, so where does UCFS see itself in 5 to 10 years from now?
Well, I just think about where we were 10 years ago, and we had a small office, very small office, maybe one staff member, and now we have 13 staff people. We have an 11,000 square foot building, and just a great board of directors. I mean, we have a diverse board of directors from all walks of life that help us, fulfill our mission. And I feel like we're going to continue to grow in the same way, and we're going to deepen our impact in the community community and also serve more people that need our services. I mean, we went from serving probably 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. Now we serve 10,000 people each year. And I see that impact deepening in the future years to come as well.
And this all started by meeting in the basement and then went to a small office to now that the building that you have in Troy. That's really amazing. Well, Jane, thank you so much for sharing all of this. And your story is inspirational, again, for organizations that are being challenged. I think for me, I just got the sense that just kind of the perseverance and just sticking it out, and also the engaging others. That's another thing. Sometimes it seems like it's a lot of work, but it sounds like from what you're saying that it really pays off, and it makes the community that you're serving gain trust and understanding of why your organization even exists.
Exactly. That's so true.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us today, and thank you, everybody. There will be a recording of this, and we'll have a couple of links associated with the organization and Mapasima book.
Thank you, Ian.